as a milkshake salesman, build a fast food empire with an annual revenue of $700 million. Persistence.
Prince Castle Sales.
Hi, Jim.
How's it going down there?
Good. Swell. A lot of interest.
We got an order.
To anyone in particular? McDonald's.
Care for a little tour?
My brother had a brilliant idea.
Order's ready in 30 seconds.
There should be McDonald's everywhere. Franchise, franchise, franchise.
The Founder is a 2016 film that was directed by John Lee Hancock. It stars Michael Keaton, John Carroll Lynch, Nick Offerman. It also has got some pop-ins by Linda Cardellini, Laura Dern, my girl, and BJ Novak, my dude Ryan from The Office. They all kind of pop up. Oh yeah, Night Owl from Watchmen is in it. Can't remember that dude's name, but I know he was in Hard Candy. This film is about the start, the grassroots, the beginnings, the starting of McDonald's. You know, you're driving down the street, you look to the left, you look to the right, there's McDonald's everywhere, lefts and rights, there's McDonald's all over the place. And you ever wonder where do these things come from? Probably not, but turns out it's kind of an interesting tale. I thought it was pretty interesting. Michael Keaton, he plays a shill salesman who is basically trying to sell restaurants different appliances and devices that they could use, and he's going around trying to shill this thing that makes a bunch of milkshakes at once. Instead of just one milkshake, you get 5 milkshakes. But nobody wants it because maybe we're living in the 50s. It's the drive-in. Life is good. We're taking it slow. We're taking it easy. He gets a phone call from his secretary, and the secretary's like, "Hey, Michael Keaton, these people in California, they want to buy 8 of your thing." He's like, "What?" And he gives them a call. It's John Carroll Lynch who answers the phone, and he plays Mac McDonald. Nick Offerman plays Dick McDonald. Mac and Dick. What a great name combination. Mac Dick. Are you sure that you needed 8 of these things? And then he was like, "Yeah, we do." And it's like really busy and a lot of like, "We need more fries" going on in the background and stuff. And then Michael Keaton's like, "What?" And a giant question mark appears in his brain. And he drives from, I believe it's Minnesota. They have like this scene with the map all the way to California. And when he gets there, he goes and he sees this restaurant, and there's this really long line, and one girl's like, "Don't worry, dude, it's fast." And he's like, "Oh." And he gets his food, and he's like, "Oh, best burger I ever had in my life." And then Michael Keaton's like, "I want to franchise this." And they're like, "Okay, we already tried, but it didn't really work out because we opened other restaurants. They were selling like tacos and like fish sticks, like what?" So that was the issue, was quality control. And Michael Keaton's like, "I can handle this. I got you." So they sign like an ironclad contract with him that says, "Yes, you can franchise our business, but you have to let us have full creative control." That sounds like stories I've heard before. Leaving it at that setup, you can tinker in your brain and figure out where it goes from there. Or you could just watch the movie. You get to see the evolution or the devolution, depending on your perspective, of Michael Keaton. You get to see him from going to being like the go-getter good guy to being a cutthroat businessman, business king. I see it as more of a based on a true story type of deal, which could mean basically anything. That just means this was based on something that maybe kind of happened once. But I did a little monicum of research, and I found out that it seems to me not completely inaccurate. But that type of stuff never bogs me down. You give me an entertaining flick, I'm into it. But and that they did. Mr. John Lee Hancock also directed the 2009 film The Blind Side, which is like notorious for being one of the lowest critically rated Oscar noms of all time, and I will not see that movie on principle, but he has a pretty well crafted piece of cinema here, and I enjoyed the story, from start to finish. There was parts in it that I was really invested and I got really into it, particularly the dynamic between Nick Offerman and John Carroll Lynch, and Michael Keaton also is hopelessly watchable. I really enjoyed seeing my girl Laura Dern. I always like when she's in any movie because she is absolutely fantastic, and I consider her one of the most underrated actresses ever, even though I know she's gotten her share of acclaim in the days. You should see Citizen Ruth. Citizen Ruth is a really great movie with Laura Dern in it. She's so good. She's so good in it. So all the performances were good, technicals were solid, told its narrative in a nice, easy to digest, like McDonald's. Not really. McDonald's makes me feel like hell. That was a bad analogy. A nice, easy to digest narrative, and yeah, overall, I think this was a pretty solid movie. I enjoyed it. I just saw that it had popped up on Netflix. Oh yeah, this film's available to watch on Netflix. There's your plug, guys. Nobody pays me for this.
How can we be almost out of capital?
Did you mortgage our home?
I want to renegotiate my lousy deal.
I can't.
Can't or won't?
Ray.
What?
No!
You building it. You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business.
I want to take the future. I want to win. McDonald's can be the new American church.
There's a wolf in the hen house. We let him in.
Yeah, I would give it a recommendation if the story sounds interesting to you, but if it doesn't sound interesting and you don't like any of the people that are involved, then you probably won't like it very much. But this guy, I really liked it. I probably will never watch it again, but it's one of those definitive one and done movies for me, and I'm not mad that I watched it. 2 hours well spent. This has been Roy on Celluloid, on Netflix, on The Founder, on John Lee Hancock, on John Carroll Lynch. I remembered his name that time, even though he's like third build. On Nick Offerman, on Michael Keaton, I'm working my way up the ladder, and then back down again, on BJ Novak, on Laura Dern, on the guy from, there's too many cast members. Whatever, it's been me. Have a good night.